Hey, lovely ladies, I just wanted to welcome you back to the Wild and Wild podcast. So I'm dropping in today to talk about all things community, something that sits right at the heart of everything we do at Wild and Wild, everything we've built together and everything I believe in personally. So if you've ever been to one of our events, maybe you've been to one of our ambassadors, now we're expanding across the Northwest and the UK, then you might have felt that feeling, that spark in the air when women come together. When someone walks in not knowing a single person and walks out with that energy, that uplift, that new collaboration with maybe 2 or 3 or new friends, a business connection, a sense of belonging. That's what this feeling is all about. And every single person, every single business, every part of society is rethinking the way we do business. And it's all now revolving around giving people that sense of community and that sense of an experience. Even now, the top retail brands aren't just selling like they used to. Even I've talked a lot at my events about like Coca-Cola and some of these big brands like, gosh, even like Harrods and shops from all over the world are doing community-led experiences like the Coca-Cola bottles, when you could only open the Coca-Cola bottle at this university campaign they did if you connected it with another person and started conversation and to open the hatch of the bottle. And they also did so much marketing around this about these big events in London where they'd have music events and self-care events. And this is where the world's going now. To really promote your own business, you need to start inviting people in, maybe some in-person events, maybe free get-togethers online, or making them feel a part of something. So we live in a world that can feel really isolating at times, especially I feel post-COVID. I mean, actually, the wellness industry alone went up by like 125%, the wellness market. And now year on year, I think it goes up something like 19% every year. So everyone wants that feeling of feeling good again, right? But not everyone feels supported with the age where we're on our phones a lot, the digital age. And I truly believe that when we bring people together, whether that's for a walk, a coffee, a yoga class, a business brunch, we have the power to directly impact someone's day for the better. It's an act of kindness in motion. And for me, community isn't just about numbers or followers. It's about connection. So you've probably heard me say in 100 times, connection is the new currency. And what I mean by that is that connection is the most valuable thing we can build. It's what fuels business growth, emotional well-being, and personal transformation. And actually, community and connection is something that actually makes us live longer. So if you've ever watched that documentary series on Netflix from Dan Buettner, he talks about the blue zones. One of the things in these countries all across the world that have the most amount of centenarians that live there, they're people that live over 100, are people that live in strong community groups that go out together, they go walking, they work together, they gather to drink wine, to eat in big family groups and friendships. So it's so key. So today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. And I really care about our community. So I wanted to turn the attention back to our community. So I've asked people across Instagram, across the newsletter, personally, to send me some questions straight from our community about what it really takes to build something meaningful and lasting, like I feel I have at Wild and Wild. I generally feel a sense of pride that I have somehow transformed this kind of hospitality business that was a wellness cafe into a women's empowerment movement that has generally changed people's lives. Like I have women come to me that have been crying and saying, I was at the edge of depression and I turned to this group and I've met the most incredible souls. I've started a business. I've transformed my life. I've just gone through awful loss, or they've been through a divorce, or they'd felt completely out of balance. And then they've come to our events and got purpose back in their lives. So it generally means so much to me, all the people that are part of our community. So we'll talk about all things when I answer these questions: how to grow an authentic following, how to balance wellness in business, how to protect your energy, and the wins, the lessons, the stories from creating a movement that started as a little tiny cafe and now is growing into something that's expanding across the UK. And then I also want to share the next chapter at the end of Wild and Wild and what we are aiming towards. So grab a coffee, take a deep breath, and let's dive into this, because this one's all about the power of people, purpose, and community. So let me just find these questions on my phone here. I have got, right. Ooh. Okay. So what do you believe are the key ingredients to building a truly authentic and lasting community? Now, bearing in mind, I've not seen these questions before. I've just got them all on my phone. So I haven't pre-planned these. Okay. I think building a truly authentic and lasting community has to be speaking your truth. So it has to be something that you're really passionate about. So I think because I'm so passionate about community and bringing people together right from the start, when I had that cafe, I had that vision of loads of people coming together as one in this beautiful space. It's always been part of my mission statement at Wild and Wild. So I think you've just got to be really clear on your values. So I think that's why I've grown this lasting community, because from the start, I've always been about, hey, come here, let's get together, let's do this event, let's bring mums together, let's bring the elderly together, let's do these unique events which go across multiple generations. And I think I've always shared honestly about the journeys and of life and the ups and downs. And I think to be able to have lasting community, you have to be really raw and real with people. So I would say if you're thinking about building a community, is be more open and true about your life experience and the ups and downs and the challenges. And of course, to have a lasting community, you have to give them value. I think really try and dare to be different, try and give people experiences that the local coffee shops or the local town isn't doing. So, every other person's doing a run club these days, but could you do something that's different? Could you make it where it's a bit funner and you're collaborating with some other brands? And I went to a great one actually at the weekend that was, they'd linked up with 3 brands who were doing one together, and it was all about health and well-being, and it just felt a different vibe, and, make it authentic. So my experiences are, we incorporate in a little bit of wellness activities, breath work, yoga. We weave that into our events. It's not just a corporate networking, it's something much more. So really find out what makes you authentic and give your customers value. So communicate with them regularly, newsletters, socials, share your ups and downs and your realness and rawness on social media as well. And that's really helped me build a community. Okay, next one. Building community requires energy. How do you stay grounded and protect your own energy while leading others? Yes, this is something I'm still learning, because I am a yoga teacher. I've been a yoga teacher for 12 years. And I know if I did yoga and meditation every morning, I would be glowing and flowing and feel good all the time. But that's not the truth. I'm not going to sit here and say I do that every day, because I've got 4 kids, I've got multiple businesses, and it's tough, right? Running a business and keeping all the checks together with school lists and all this. And I find I have these micro moments in the day. So even if I've got a big admin day or if I've got an event, I always try and pause and take some mindful breaths before I start the next thing. So in the morning, getting just outside in nature, or just if I can squeeze in a quick run. It doesn't need to be this long class, but I would say try and just do 5 to 10 minutes of some kind of exercise or breath work or visualization. And I've trained myself to be very good at, and I think it was because I grew up under the principles of the law of attraction, and very much you can do anything you put your mind to. My mum and dad were very much like, yes, we believe in yourself and you can do it. And my mum was such a great inspiration of mine. She would go out to the East a lot. So we had the opportunity to go to places like Thailand, Bali. She had businesses all over the world, same with my mum and dad. And they own this incredible business. So I got some experiences of understanding different cultures. And I think it gave me this insight of pure gratitude. I took a lot of inspiration. I always call Bali like my spiritual home, and we would travel there a lot in our teens, and then I would go even every year during my life. And I find it so beautiful because it's given me that sense of inner calmness of knowing that basically in Bali, the reason I say Bali is because it's the one that's transformed my life. They have gratitude for everything. So getting up, getting out of bed in the morning, making your breakfast. They put offerings on their car before they go to work. They make these beautiful little banana leaves offerings for their space of work. And I've always had this because my mum used to implement these practices when she was alive and throughout my upbringing, where she would show gratitude for every moment and every day, and that we're lucky just to be here, physically here right now, to be moving, to be walking. Like, everything is a gift. And I think I've always had that mindset of I'm lucky. I'm really lucky to be here, to be able to do this work. So it's given me that sense of, even if I'm feeling frazzled and burning out and like, on the brink of that, I just take a pause and say, I'm really lucky to have this opportunity to be this busy. And I think we could all learn something from that, like to not get so stressed on the busyness of life and just be accepting to, it's great to be to be doing something that we love. I think that's something that's kept me really grounded in business. To protect my own energy, though, I would say something I used to do actually when I was pregnant is visualize a little bubble around me. So when I go into big spaces, like big events, if I've got hundreds of people, it is important to protect your energy. So just visualize like a little protective egg, or just do some breath work and inhale, send the breath all the way up to the top of the head and exhale it down. You can actually do it with me now. Breathe in and then breathing out. And just do that for 3 breaths right now. Just feel like a light coming up to the top of your head and then all the way down to the root. And just notice how that calms you and that grounds you. If you could just do that for a pause before you go into your next activity you're doing or your daily checklist, it helps you. So yeah, to stay grounded, I try and have these little micro moments of breath work, or I just get out in nature for a moment in my day. Sometimes just nip the dogs. We're lucky enough to have a dog park business as well at our house, so I take them down there and it just clears you. So yeah, if you're ever feeling stagnant, just have these little micro moments in your day and it'll help you build your business so much further and not have that sense of burnout. Next question. Okay. What's one thing you wish someone had told you before you started your business? I think that business is just really hard. I think I wish someone had been really clear how tough hospitality would have been. I never had a clue that it would be the way it was. It was nonstop. I would work like 70 hours a week trying to manage having children. And the art of delegation. I wish someone had taught me how to delegate, because I tried to be the cleaner, the marketing expert, the website builder, this, everything when I was running the cafe. And then we started to need to delegate things out and know when we started bringing more people on the team. We had up to 15 people on our team at one point, and it was okay for me to step back, as the years went on. And I'm starting to learn that again now as I'm bringing on ambassadors, which is really exciting. We've got 3 now, but we've got 2 more coming in the new year as we're going into like Manchester, Liverpool, different areas. We're starting to build up Wild and Wild ambassadors. I need to start to learn to delegate and trust that those ambassadors are okay running these events solo sometimes. It's nice for me to go occasionally, but it's nice for them to have that power to lead these incredible women's empowerment events on their own as well. So yeah, I wish someone had just told me that it's okay, that it's going to be up and down. Business is quite hard, and just to expect that. And I wish I'd known more about finance, because still now I feel like we should be taught that in schools. Don't you agree? Like, it's tough when you start running a business. No one's ever taught you to do your tax returns or all these other things, and to save for VAT and, all this stuff. So that's important. Okay, another question. What's been the most effective way for you to get customers? 100% Instagram. And I know we all have our chosen platforms, and for some, TikTok is incredible at the moment. It's booming, especially for products. But for me, Instagram has always been very community based. I am starting to dive into LinkedIn a little bit, which is great for business growth. But Instagram for me started out, no following and regularly just doing stories, being consistent, doing, 2 to 3 reels a week, doing carousels, reintroducing myself. Still to this day, I have floods of followers that are really new, authentic, so happy to be in the space. And it's amazing. I wish I could tell people that feeling when you're getting brands reaching out to you all the time and you've got people wanting to collaborate with you, and that excitement that Instagram has brought me, like it's literally made my business succeed. So I would say to everyone, focus on your growth on Instagram or TikTok and really hone in on one channel and get consistent, like post every day. And if you're not posting, I would spend 10 minutes a day, or literally 10 minutes, just reaching out to people, in your similar circle, like someone that's into wellness that might have gone to a similar retreat as you, or you met someone at a networking event. DM them like, hey, I just want to learn a little bit more about what you do. Let's chat, let's connect. Reach out to a brand, loving what you're doing. And a lot of these people will go and follow you. So that's a big part of my tactic, is always, not as in I want them to follow me and be part of my business, but just generally, I love communicating. I did a psychology degree when I was younger, and I've always been interested and fascinated by people. So I love talking to new people. And actually, Instagram will reward you if you're doing more DMs on your channel. So if you can be reaching out to people regularly, it actually boosts you up the algorithm. So a really good tactic there. Question: what are some of the unexpected challenges you face growing your business? And do you have any advice for people just starting out who may go through the same thing? Yeah, I would say, I think it's getting your foot in the door to like really cool opportunities, like, like venues, collaborations. It's hard, right? At first, you feel like, why would they want to speak to me? Because I've only got a few hundred followers, or maybe I don't know what I'm doing as much. And even though I've done loads of research, I just can't get into that venue. Now, it's happened to all of us, every person. We get setbacks, right? I still get people that say no. Like I reached out to a brand the other week and they were like, no, I don't think this aligns. I was like, okay, I'll let it go. And just don't get too offended by it, because you are just starting out. What I would recommend you do is write out a really amazing like PDF or an email where you save in your Google Drive and you write it really authentically from the heart. Hey, I want to connect with you today. Let's say you're reaching out to a brand or a venue. This is why I think our brands align. I want you to go into detail, really hone in on the brand authenticity and what you give to society. What's your why? And we've got a strong following. Even though you might not have a big following, you still have a strong community. You're doing great things in the community. You're about sustainability, all the things you do, what tells you apart. And then put photos, and always sign off with a photo of you. That is so important in business. Always have a headshot on your sign-offs, because I often don't get back to people. Well, no, I do get back to people, but I don't get back to them straight away if I can't really see who they are, or if they're just sending me a quick email like, I want to work with you. And it's simple. It doesn't stand out to me. It used to be the same. So in Wild and Wild, we used to get hundreds of job applications when we had the cafe wellness business. Now, it would be those people that put a photo on their CV, or that would send me 3 emails. So I would often, I'm honest here, I would miss the first email because I was just busy. I was working in hospitality, often being chefs on some days, busy with client meetings, all sorts. And then I'd get these emails, but then if I'd see a follow-up email, or if I'd see another one, even better. So don't be afraid of reaching out to people again and again. I had this recently with a venue, the Tawny Hotel, massive venue. They have over, I think, 700,000 followers. And I was like, right, I really want to get my foot in the door. Kept emailing them. Sorry, we don't really do events with brands like yourselves, da, da, da. And then I was like, I've just got to stay consistent on this. And it took me nearly 2 years to get the deal. But I'm in doing events every month there, which is so exciting. So don't accept the first no. Go back to them. Go back to them again, because it shows you believe in what you're doing. So that would be a bit of advice. So yeah. Other unexpected challenges, I think that people let you down. I think that's a big one. So I didn't realize, I always thought people would see the business the same way that I see my business. And team members that join the business, I just thought would want it to grow. Of course, they would want it to do well. Whereas at the end of the day, I've realized you've got to see people are always out for, I know it sounds awful, themselves. It sounds awful, but they are. Like in life, you want to get support for yourself, for your family, to grow, to learn. So when people join my team, I now see they are doing it for their own value. Yeah. But of course, they still want Wild and Wild to grow. They want to be part of something bigger, but they're doing it for bettering themselves. And I had to let go of whenever people let me down or when they didn't show up to the level that I wanted. It's not because of me, it's because they have other things going on in their lives and they're just doing their best. So I think letting go of this 100% perfection is a big one in business. We expect the best from our team, and to really value and nurture those relationships and see everyone as a human being. Because I think early days at Wild and Wild, we had a few team members like let me down, or they would just be like, I'm off on holiday and not give me notice, or I'd be like, why are they, I'd take it personally. And I think you're not got to take things so personally in business. And honestly, it'll happen to you in business where you'll have someone let you down, you'll have a photographer pull out last minute, you'll have a speaker drop out, or you'll lose some kind of client or something will happen and you'll be devastated in the moment. But you need to learn to fail quicker, move and fail and let it go, because it's going to happen. You can't go through a business without failure. And there might be an event that gets no people. Move on. Your next event's going to be a sellout. You've just got to focus on the next big thing. And I think I've got good at failing faster. And I think that's why I've succeeded at Wild and Wild, because I don't take things personally. Even when I've had, to be honest, we don't get much negative feedback. Back in the cafe days, we had silly things like, oh, my check, my meal took too long to come out, little things which I could work on physically. I could work on that with chefs to make sure we had better wait times and we had faster service. But in business, sometimes you're not going to please everyone. We're quite good that we don't get that many negative reviews or anything like that. But I think it's because I've learned to just jump back in and learn from my mistakes and go, let's take this even bigger now and better. And I've learned that you have to keep people excited. You can't just do the same old events. Like if I call things the same, people just don't come to them regularly. Jump into, the new season. We've got the spring coming up, the new year for freshness and manifesting, the autumns for renewal and relaxation. So just start to jump into using the seasons for your advantage as well, playing in on them, helping them boost your business. I could talk about this all day, but I'll move on to the next question anyway. How do you make people feel seen, especially at your events where so many women walk in not knowing anyone? That's interesting. Okay, so actually, I think this has come naturally to me because I've always really cared about people. So I know that everyone has their own stuff going on and you've got to really see people. We used to have this rule at Wild and Wild where we had to check in with people. As soon as they walked into the wellness cafe, when I had the wellness cafe, you'd have to greet them, say hi, smile on your face. We'd have to checkpoint them at certain points in their experience of coming into the cafe, ordering. They'd have to be checked in at first when they hit the table. And when they order their food, check backs after the food. And then when they leave, they have to see that eye contact of face-to-face, goodbye, and a warm feeling when they left. And that is key in hospitality, if anyone's in hospitality. But at my events, I think that's naturally come from hospitality, as in I have to give people that eye contact, that hug. So I often go in for the hug. I sense if someone doesn't want that and if they want more space. But generally, people always say to me, wow, that was so lovely to have a warming hug and to really feel like you cared about me. And then I always go and make sure everyone's happy. Even at my yoga events, I'll check everyone's got what they need. If you've got a cup of tea, do you want a blanket? Would you like, is the temperature okay? I always think about the 5 senses. Like this is key in business, wherever you are. Even if I had like a guest on my podcast, I'd be checking, are they hydrated? Do they feel warm? Are they in is the smell nice? Have I got candles on? Have I got the diffuser going? It's so important at your events or in your business. Literally, if you have a physical presence, a business in your shop, make it smell nice, make it feel warm. Like often it's the psychology of why people put warm blowers in shops when you walk in, because people get a sense of, when they feel warm when they walk in somewhere. So there's all a psychology, it's an art to the senses. So I think I'm good at giving people an experience as a yoga teacher. So yeah, making people feel like they've really heard. And that's why we always implement the 1 minute. Every woman gets a minute at all our events to speak in front of a room of women. And, it does take a little bit of time, but wow, do people get a value because they feel so confident when they stand up and voice what they're about, their mission. They feel like everyone has seen that woman. And it's like in the old tribes, I imagine. I love thinking about community in the old tribal traditions where across the world, where we'd come under the big tents or the teepees, and think about that time where has anyone heard of the red tent movement, where we'd come together during this moon cycles and we'd share the wisdom of the community? Like the wise women would come, the mothers, the maidens, and we'd all share value. And that's where what I see at my events. We all share a value and we give to each other and we receive. So yeah. Can you share a story of a woman whose life or business was transformed because of being part of the community? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so many stories. I mean, we've had women, goodness, that have come even to our Christmas party, who've come for the first time and met other women there. And then literally a few months later, I've seen them all collaborate on a big event and have hundreds of women at that event. And we've had women walk through the doors. Oh my goodness. We've had women that have been through the most horrific grief. I'm talking suicide in their families, and who have shown up and shared their vulnerable stories. Oh my gosh. It gets me emotional to think of all the stories we've heard. Even just yesterday, one woman shared from the heart, the trauma that she went through as a child. And honestly, I had goosebumps all over my body when she shared. And these women that come and share, and then to see them getting back into business and to start thriving, and to see them regularly at our events, and to see the friendships that have formed and them thriving in their lives, just literally sets me alight. It's hard to pinpoint one story, really. But I know that we had got asked by the Telegraph actually to do showcase some stories about women. And I had loads apply for this. And there was one woman that she'd been through all the things, like alcohol abuse, drug abuse, domestic violence, all the things. And she had then become the most inspirational coach, fitness trainer. Her story just lit me up. I can't tell you. So I'm going to get her on the podcast, actually. I will definitely get her story to come on and share. But I don't feel like I can share their story because it's so personal, and I don't want to name names. Okay, so I'll finish last one and then I'll tell you the future of Wild and Wild. So let me just see what we've got here. I'd love to know how you built your following so large. Any tips or tricks to build a community online and in person? So yeah, I've got loads of tips on this. I mean, I would just get consistent, get online, get active on your socials, be present with people. Don't expect yourself just to go days and weeks without posting and then just to come on and people start to engage, because people want consistency. I want you to see it like a close friend, like a best friend. You would check in with them, regularly. You're like a sisterhood. You want your clients to feel like that, like they're your friends, they're part of a strong sisterhood or community. So I'd say show up consistently, start posting more, increase your reach by dropping into people's DMs, engaging with more people on a daily basis, reach out to 5 new people a day, start a newsletter, start building a community, just by creating maybe a free membership or a free WhatsApp group. Start doing some in-person events. You could do a walking group or a free launch event, or even not free, charge people and get people to feel part of something. And that's where the magic happens. So I would just say, yeah, to build your following online, you do have to give people value. I would say to share encouraging things. These things have really helped me in business. Whenever I go online and I share a good hook that says, these top 5 things made me such a better business owner or made me thrive in building my community. That's the kind of thing people want to hear. They want to hear how you've done it. So think of something that you are really good at, whether that's, anything you've done in your life that you're really good at. Go on Instagram or TikTok or wherever it is and showcase why people can be good at that too. This is how you do it. This is the greatest wellness trend. This is how you meditate. This is how you become a great photographer. Just showcase what you do and people will start really believing in you. Yeah, so finally, I'm just going to finish with the future of Wild and Wild. Someone had asked, where do you see Wild and Wild going next? What's the bigger vision for the community? So in all honesty, I see Wild and Wild expanding across the UK, having ambassadors in most major towns and cities across the UK, but also going into America next. We've also got someone that's saying they want to be an ambassador in Australia, which is really exciting. And Australia keeps coming up for me at the moment. I don't know why. I've literally just today met 3 people who are going to Australia or who've just got back from Australia. So I have big visions to take this on a global scale by empowering women like yourselves. So if you're someone that wants to set up Wild and Wild in your local town, do please reach out to me because I'm looking for ambassadors where I give you that sole focus in that town to grow your brand. And how it works, it's like an exchange. We split percentages, which is beautiful at the event. So there's like an exchange. And I still do loads of promotion to empower you as an ambassador, but empower your event and to bring in new people, but also to empower your other business. So if you have another side hustle business, as I know that every ambassador, like our other ones, like say Lydia in Chester, she's a therapist and women's wellness coach. Nina, she's an incredible forest lead and works across multiple charities. And then there's Claudia, who's an incredible reformer Pilates teacher and yoga teacher. So all our ambassadors, even though they have their own businesses, the Wild and Wild Ambassador program also inspires them to bring new people into their own businesses, but then also into our community. So it's a win-win, really. So my vision is to see that roll out across the whole of the UK, to write a book. I really want to write a book for Wild and Wild about the community and how to grow a community. I want this podcast to go big and viral, and I want to go on some TV shows and really showcase the power of community and do more public speaking, especially into schools and the younger generation as well. And I want it to be really global. I want to do the Wild and Wild Empower membership, which is coming soon. So keep a lookout for that, where I work and I help consult and coach women to take their businesses to the next level. So I've got loads of ideas and vision for Wild and Wild. I've actually got a 5-year plan because I got asked to go on a TV show actually, and they asked me to do like a financial forecast, 5-year plan. So I've done all that, and it's so exciting to get your clear goals and vision written out so clearly. So I recommend everyone does that. But yeah, just want to finish there for today, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here today and being part of the community. I'd love to connect with you. So head over to @WildandWild_events and give us a follow and give me a DM. I'd love to hear from you and your story to date. And also, if you go to the link in the bio on Instagram or on our website, you can see our free online membership. Now, this is such an incredible site. It's got free yoga classes, breathwork sessions, podcasts. We've got business episodes with incredible female founders. I've got ebooks and all the things that are going to help you grow in business. We also do loads of webinars that are free online that you can communicate and connect and network with loads of women from across the globe and just get empowered and feel good. So I hope to see you over on there. Just come into the free online membership, introduce yourselves, get interactive on there. And I'm really looking forward to connecting more.